Welcome back, guys, to the channel. It's boiling, and even the grey is a bit like. Oh. It is an incredibly hot morning here on horseguardsparade. We're talking, give or take, 90 already, folks, Fahrenheit. Bearing in mind, it's not even 11 a.m. You're probably thinking, where on earth is he going? More importantly, where's the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery? Well, ladies and gents, today is a very special occasion for military historians, for perfectionists. I wouldn't say I was one, but I'd like to be one. But more importantly, for those that are interested in history, tradition, culture, longevity, etc. And Canadian and British military history. Let me tell you why. The King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery have finished. They left. Yesterday they handed over to the Blues and Royals, hence us having just seen a Blues and Royals trooper on a grey. He's the trumpeter. He's heading halfway along the mall to meet the other half. I say the other half to meet the new guard. Okay. Now that in itself is not particularly original or exceptional. Nothing to write home about, as you're probably thinking, hey, it happens every week, multiple times a week. And you'd be right, it does happen every week, multiple times a week. I mean, when the King's in London at least. But what's different this morning, and you can tell it's boiling, look at all the tourists, folks, they're all around the edges of horse guards in the shady area. So what's different? Well, what's different is this, folks. For the first time in 13 years, we have a new regiment that are coming to take over here at Horse Guards. Now, a lot of you speculated that might have been the reason. The problem that I've got is that it's a mess. The parade ground, that is. Look, I mean, there are trucks everywhere. They're still in the process of setting up and checking everything ready for beating retreat. So it's a mush. Now, I am thinking, because the trumpeter came out of the tunnel and headed that way, it's still very likely that we'll see the arrival of the new King's Guard this side on the parade ground. However, as is always the case with these things, it's never guaranteed, folks. You know, there is still a small possibility they'll enter via the front. I really couldn't tell you. I think I'm going to keep an eye on what's happening with the police and so on, and try my very best to be in the right spot. And the reason we need to be in the right spot is as follows. Okay. For only a couple of times in the history, in fact, of the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment, has the King's Lifeguard been mounted by a non-British regiment. That's right. That special occasion is about to change, folks, today. Let me read it out from the official announcement on the Canadian Army's website. For the third time in history, a non-UK unit will mount the King's Lifeguard. Canada's own Lord Strathcona's Horse Royal Canadians will stand guard in London, coincidentally marking 125 years of service. Yes, folks, you heard it here first. A Canadian, not the Mounties, not the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, who have been here before, the Canadian Army. In fact, the only tank regiment in the Canadian Army, which luckily has a mounted cavalry branch. It's the last mounted cavalry branch in the Canadian Army, and they will be here as King's Lifeguard in the coming week or so. Yes, I was shocked too, folks. Delighted, I think, is probably a better way to describe it. Thoroughly so. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different today, and annoying because it is incredibly hot. I'm going to sort of try and obviously get them coming through this spot here, because at the end of the day, if they are coming this way, there's only a certain amount of space between the two barriers. Now, bearing in mind, it could be nearly 20 minutes until they're coming over. So I will be briefly pausing the video. I had intended to start it a little bit later. However, the trumpeter put paid to my cunning plan, the scoundrel. I wasn't expecting that. But then again, I'm thinking also, to get a better idea of where they might go, is it not best to simply follow the trumpeter? I mean, at the end of the day, he is the main indicator of what's happening, and more importantly, where it's happening. Definitely be keeping an eye on liquid levels there as well. It is crazy hot, folks, I tell you. I don't remember a morning this hot since probably last August. And I know I often say, oh, it's hot on this channel, but flipperoo. You've got tourists sitting on the ground, on the grass. I mean, somebody's fallen asleep over there. Look, I can't say I blame them. This will have hit a lot of people quite hard. I will need to be careful though, actually, because the second I see them, I'm going to have to sort of run back somewhat in order to get to the parade ground way before the troopers. Apparently their nickname is Strats, but I have, from the literature I've read, they are referred to as troopers as well. I'm reluctant to use that term widely until I'm 100% certain, so we'll just refer to them as the New Guard, or all the Canadians, or the Strats, I think, probably. So I wouldn't want to spend the whole video addressing them as troopers, only to find out that they're not. The crowd over near the parade ground is vast. I want to avoid that at all costs, for obvious reasons. We don't want to get stuck, and secondly, regardless of whether you're in the shade, or on the parade ground in full sunshine, it's mind-bogglingly hot over there. You can tell, Gray's just up here at the top. You can tell he's not a happy bunny today. Now, the other piece of information, actually wait, let me take a step back. I did mention something special will be happening next week in the previous video. I knew it was going to be the Canadians. I had no idea whether it would be RCMP or indeed Canadian Army. And at that point, to be fair, I think only a few people did know. HCAV were obviously extremely coy about it. And there was no British PR at all about this. Absolutely none. Which might be good, might be bad, depends on which way you look at it. I also need to be very careful of being on the right side of the road for this video. Now, the extraordinary thing about the the trumpeter on the grey at the top of the road here is that the tourists were able to get ridiculously close. He's really not happy. The mall, 1 second guys, what that annoying little tick 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 on the water bottle. The mall itself is still adorned with tricolours, obviously. French state visit. Now I'm going to stay on this side for two reasons. Reason one, it's somewhat shady. Reason two, we've got pretty quick access to the parade ground, which we're going to be needing shortly. I don't think, actually, certainly not recently, as far as I remember, we've ever caught the trumpeter waiting here on the mall. Now the thing is, the Grey is not a happy boy, and I think, to be fair, the trumpeter is absolutely flipping roasting. And looking around at the amount of tourists, the thing that takes me aback somewhat, and I am looking really closely all around me, is the fact that there is virtually, not absolutely, but virtually no police presence. I find that very peculiar. I'm not sure what's happening. He's looking for the new regiment to arrive, and I don't want to go in the road anywhere near the Grey, obviously, because he's unsettled. In fact, he's extremely unsettled, to be honest. Okay, so he should, in theory, I'll now go and have a look myself, have spotted the new regiment approaching from the palace. The new regiment, the Canadians. It's very, very, very hard to tell, but I can see a lot of glistening in the distance, an awful lot of glistening in the distance. What can that be other than the plumed helmets of the Canadians? Now, the other thing to note, and I was sent pictures this morning, massive thank you to those who did share with me, as they were preparing the horses. Myrtle green is the colour of the saddle blanket, folks. Yep, I'm hearing the new guard making their way down. I'm hoping I've got it wrong and that's the guard going to the palace for the guard change. I'm holding on for a second just so that I've definitely got in visual more horses, because at the moment I can see the foot guard, but I'm 99% certain we've also got a troop of horses in the middle of the mall. 1 second. That is horses, is it not, folks? I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is. Right, that's our cue to move. If we don't move now, we're going to get stuck on the wrong side of the road and we will not be in a good enough spot to capture them. We might have a 2-3 minute wait once I get back to the key spot on the parade ground, but, and this is key, if I don't run back now, we'll be on the wrong side of the road to have any chance at all of getting to see them. And that obviously is going to be a bit of a problem. Why? Hello, could you imagine, folks, if after finding out about this and being the first one here to get all of it, I end up getting stuck on the wrong side and we can't film them arriving. That would be a downer, wouldn't it? Oh yes. Now, another piece of info. Sorry folks, there's so much going on this morning. Another piece of info is this. The Canadians, having only arrived in London the day before yesterday, had a very quick crash course with the horses. You're probably thinking, like, why? Why would that be necessary? Because they didn't bring their own horses. Oh yes, that's right, they didn't bring their own horses. You can probably guess which horses they're using. So we might well see some favourites. Don't get excited, folks. I'm not saying Ormond is going to be up this morning. However, I am saying, it's not that I'm saying it, I'm telling you because I know it. I was told this morning that they've got a 50-50 split. They're using Lifeguard and Blues and Royals horses. Yep. Here we've got exiting the vehicle ahead of us. In all probability, the NCO or an NCO in the Blues and Royals. So yes, they're using the HCAF horses. Now obviously, having never ridden these horses before, we know they're, what's the word? Spoilt, temperamental, particular, fussy, and many other things besides. And without too much detail, let's just say that it wasn't an easy start for the Canadians on the HCAF horses. Now, the trumpeter is back on the parade ground with his Blues and Royals colleagues. We'll be able to see a little bit of that as we go past the parade ground and into the tunnel area after we've captured the Canadians arriving. Now, the problem is these builders, constructors, are busy putting up what looks to be some sort of small awning, possibly for some VIPs. The thing is, the Canadian tourist guys that might or might not be here this morning have, in all probability, got no clue at all about how much of a significant event this is. If I do see anyone wearing a Canadian t-shirt or with a Winnipeg cap, etc., I'll definitely make sure to tell them. It's a big deal actually, because it's got several official army photographers over speaking with the police. I try my hardest not to walk around too much after we've caught this, because my, is that heat searing or what? Okay, here they come. They're just about to take the turn to the right. I can see the first police grey. I'll get us into a slightly better spot, but at the same time I want to be close enough to Horse Guards, the building that is, to make sure we can dash back over there without any chance of getting in the way. Yeah, you know what, I'm not going to go in this sort of tighter part. I really don't want to get myself shouted at or in any way distract from this super important event this morning. The fact that it's also a long guard makes it all the more extraordinary, does it not? Now, I believe, and this is going to annoy me if I got it wrong, I believe their plume is red and white. Yeah, red and white, I'm pretty sure. Gosh, they are absolutely sparkling. Imagine if it's just the lifeguards, folks, after I said all this. I was lied to. Everybody lied to me. I think we're good. I'm going to try and also get a small video on the other phone. I really just pray that the kit holds up today because my. We're in direct, unabated 30 degrees plus. Now the good news is that they are clearly arriving at this massive number of people, at this end, folks. Massive number of people looking out the windows just above the tunnel. I'm not sure if we can see that. I can't zoom in because I've got the phone in the other hand. Anyway, here they come, and they've got these extraordinary lances. In fact, thoroughly extraordinary. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to bother trying to record it on another phone. I'm just going to get it as clearly and perfectly on this phone as is possible. It's so annoying though. We've got this flipping seating mush in the background. That is bad luck, isn't it? Not exactly the most, picturesque setting for this incredibly historical moment. Okay, so here they come. I've got myself what I think is in all probability. Sorry, I'll be walking backwards. I don't want to bash into you. Sending somebody behind me. Oi. Here they come, folks. Let's zoom in a teeny weeny bit. Get this as cleanly as possible. I mean, we can't actually move back because there's a barrier here. Don't know where she wants us to move to because, yeah. Look at this, folks. Be proud, Canadian viewers. What a glorious thing to see, and those saddle blankets, absolutely magnificent. Right, let's get myself over, past this massive crush of people. Myself and Colin are here. And some of the military specialists. And these sort of banner folks, the Strathconners, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Strathcona perhaps? I mean, I tend to, if I were looking at it, I would have thought it would be pronounced Strathcona, but I don't know. I'm happy to be corrected. Now let's hope we can squeeze past this massive melee of people because it is chocker flipping block here this morning. Obviously everyone's out, not just tourists, but staff and other people that like to catch these unique moments, and rightly so. I've got no clue at all if we're going to be allowed onto the other corner this morning, but it's not a deal breaker if we're not going to be allowed. I just hope we will, simply because that would be a better spot to film it from. However, and this is key, we won't get a dismount from the first group as far as I'm aware. Is it okay over there? Not? You sure? Thank you. Okay, I've been given permission, folks, to go over to this side. That's lucky, isn't it? So we will at least get the first 3, 4 coming through any moment. I'm not going to move from this spot either. That is quite the privilege this morning, I'll be honest. Ooh. That was one of the most labour-intensive introductions I think I've ever done to a video. Let's hope the footage comes out well. Let me just check the time on the other phone. It's 10:54. I mean, strictly speaking, they would come in at spot on 11. However, it could well be the case that it might be a little bit before that. There's no way of knowing. I actually, to be honest, can't wait to get out of the sunshine, folks, head into the shade. The extraordinary thing to see is going to be these new guards in the boxes, bear in mind it has been more than a decade since anything like this has happened here. To the best of my knowledge, and again I'm happy to be corrected, this is only from a brief bit of searching this morning, we've never had the Canadian Army here before. We've had the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, but I couldn't find anything that referenced the Canadian Army having been here. The only potential downside this morning that I can foresee is because it's so incredibly hot, we might not actually get an awful lot of tourists at the front. We'll have to wait and see. To be honest, I'm going to step forward for... Oh no, I'm not allowed to in the side of the tunnel. Sorry folks, I was thinking to step forward into there to get some shade, but it's not open. Ooh. What a pity though that having this new regiment here coincides with empty archers. That's a definite downside. Tourists at the front fan themselves. I'll try a bit later on to have a look at the temperature device. Two minutes, it would appear. I'm reluctant to pause it because we never know what's going to happen, but more importantly, if we leave the camera running, you know that exactly what we're seeing is what has happened in the order it's happened, as opposed to me jigging the video around. The King's Lifeguard will change today at 1100 hours. It's actually changing now, and any moment, once the police start telling people to get themselves back, we'll hear the clip clop, that famous Clippy McClop in the tunnel. Looks like we timed it right, folks, because you can see there are an awful lot of people exiting the tunnel. I'm not sure if they're exiting to stay here in the yard or exiting because they are going to go to the front. It's a bit of both. There might also, I'll wait and see when we get to the front, be a little bit less narration than usual. We've got to be careful, folks, of dehydration today. I don't recall ever in the UK being at a temperature quite as strong as this. And here we have a Canadian soldier. How do I know that? Because it said Canada on his arm. Anybody wants to give us the rank? Please go ahead. Immediately, actually, when I saw him out of the corner of my eye, I thought, hold on a second, why is there a British Submariner here? Very similar to British Submariner uniform. Very similar, actually. Okay, so the other officer's coming out, which means that any moment, I think we're going to see them entering the tunnel. I knew it was going to be a bit of a sort of on-off waiting scenario this morning, but as this is a very, very big deal historically, I thought it was important to get most of it. We don't overheat, folks. I probably shouldn't point the camera directly into the sunshine because there is at least a small chance that we could get a little bit too much heat through the lens. Thank goodness they're not arriving and entering the yard via the front gates. That would have been my worst nightmare, because we would likely have missed it. What a fail that would have been. I mean, it's going to be any moment, I would have thought. There we are, there's the bell. I cannot even begin to imagine how the Blues have been melting along with their Canadian colleagues out on the parade ground. You know, I might be a little bit of a complainer standing here in the heat filming, but my goodness me, the soldiers, folks. It's extraordinary, isn't it? Okay, are we going to see those glorious scarlet tunics reflected on the gate at the end of the tunnel? You know what? Of course we are. Any moment, one would wager. Also, I don't know if anyone's able to gauge this, but I'd be very keen to know if this has been the shortest King's Lifeguard ever because the Blues and Royals, oh, he's back. The Blues and Royals were here for less than 1 day, less than 24 hours. They took over briefly yesterday as a kind of, how do we say, like admin temporary handover scenario, holding the fort briefly whilst their colleagues, sorry, the police gave me a nod, whilst their colleagues from the Canadian Army were preparing. And obviously they had to unpack all their kit and get ready, etc. I'm not sure what we're still waiting for. I mean, the bell has tolled, so any moment they should be coming through. Yeah, quite literally any moment, in fact, I would have thought. Not sure what the hold-up is, and I dare say they cannot wait to get themselves through the front gates at the end of the tunnel, that is, and into the yard. I guess it might just be the fact that, as it's their first time, they're not completely, they would have been briefed obviously on the way things work here, but perhaps not completely au fait with when to leave and how to leave and the way it works. I mean, I don't know, I'm still not seeing any red or scarlet on the gate. Actually, hold on a second. I'm seeing the police moving in and out of the tunnel, but curiously enough, Canadian gent's on his way back out again. Here we go, finally, right, here we go. Lovely, folks, we're in the right spot, and we're the only person, I'm the only person who's on this corner. Got it completely, exclusively to ourselves, and what good luck. Blues and Royals, and here they are. Look at this. Absolutely spectacular. The myrtle green on this saddle blanket. Whoa. Is that or is that not out of this world, everybody? Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. We got it. Smashed it. I am delighted, in fact, that the waiting was worth it. I'm now going to go to the front because I can see some of my colleagues very curious about what on earth is going on. I will try my very best, to also capture the dismount when the second group of Canadians arrive. I can't promise. It's going to massively depend on how busy it is at the front. Got a popular trooper who is the orderly today, Blues and Royals, just to confirm, about to open up the boxes. I will try, I think, to be over on this corner for the first ever arrival of the two Strathcona mounted guards going into the boxes. I'll move forward a bit in a minute because for the moment it is absolutely mind-bogglingly bright. If I go any further forward, there's going to be a problem. Let's just have a look at the temperature. Yep, 30.2 degrees, ladies and gents. How about that? 30.2 degrees. And it's 11 a.m. in the morning. It will be probably the hottest day of the year today. I'm thinking maybe 35, 36, which in itself is fun. Although it's very much likely the horses won't see out the entire day. Now I'm also hoping we might get lucky. Most people are choosing the shady side. Most of this side is not in the shade. We might get to keep this entire corner all to ourselves for the first boxman. Thing is, there's no way of knowing absolutely how long they're going to be. It's 11:04, strictly speaking. It's typically 11:15, isn't it, that they take the box. It's a toughie though, because on the one hand, this is the best spot to be, but on the other hand, if we're potentially going to be here for, I don't know, 10 minutes, that's a definite negative. I've seen at least 3 or 4 of the biggest spammers here this morning as well, which is interesting. Not really surprising, but interesting. Key thing actually is that the front, it's so quiet compared to usual. One is wondering actually, where are the tourists? You'd have thought that at the very least what one would have expected, that an awful lot of Canadians potentially following Canadian military or diplomatic channels might well have thought, hold on a second, this is a very, very significant event this morning. I mean, maybe there are a lot of Canadians at the front. Problem is, right now, we've got a couple of clowns who are, guys, you're being disrespectful and you're going to be all on YouTube looking like a bunch of morons. You're listening to me? I'm saying you're going to end up looking like a bunch of clowns on my YouTube channel. The troopers at work, respect them, man, yeah?
I'm just talking to him, I know him.
You know him?
Yes.
Your brother, your cousin, your friend?
He's a family friend.
Then if you're being honest with me, boss, then good. But normally we get a lot of people that come here, take the mick out of the soldiers and end up looking crazy.
It's a misunderstanding, that's not what I'm doing.
Why are you grinning a little teeny bit when you're saying that about the family friend? Come on, you're not a family friend.
That's not a family friend. You don't know, that's Richard, bro.
It's not, he's lying. It's Richard. He's not, he's having us on. He almost got me then. Cheeky little scoundrel, no? Proper cheeky little scoundrel, that dude. Nah, he's definitely not a relative. 100%. He couldn't. I was honestly, guys, just about to believe him. He was very convincing. I admire that. A man that thinks on his feet. That definitely is not Richard in the box. I'll tell you that straight off. But I do like how quick he was. Are you guys from Canada by any chance? You guys are not Canadian?
No.
Ah, okay. It's a big morning here this morning. Canadian Army have arrived. First time in a long time there's been a foreign army here serving in London as the Guard. So they're just about to come out. So you chose a lucky morning.
Lucky.
Very. Belgians. It would have been great actually if we were Canadians. I could have delighted them, regaled them with tales of how magnificent and proud we Brits are of the fact that they've temporarily loaned us some of their fine serving members of the military for this morning. Everyone's at a bit of a loss, in fact. I'm seeing a lot of photographers and other people just sort of milling around. I've seen a hand. There is a white gloved hand just appeared on the gate, so I think any moment it's going to open. Thank God I know what to talk about, guys, in these long moments without any eventful behaviour. Anyway, we scared off the dude and his friends that were there taking the mick out of Richard. I couldn't see which trooper's in the box, which is a little bit unfortunate. I mean, if a trooper messages me later and says, "Why did you tell off my little brother?" I'm going to feel like really bad. I'm like proper bad, I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm going to feel like an absolute scoundrel. Gosh, it's hot. Right by the gate and just waiting, folks. Oh, gosh. Now, luckily I'm in the corner here because some of the photographers are coming over and a few other people are also coming over to get a spot. Right, here we go. For the first time. And of course, the horses. Look at this, ladies and gents. Lord Strathcona. Okay, so he's been given a heads up by the NCO from the Blues and Royals about the way it needs to be done. Again, folks, we're learning on the job here this morning. I did just think to myself, how can they go to their boxes if he's standing kind of like in their way, if that makes sense? Hence the NCO always standing behind the horses to give the command for them to move forward and head into the boxes. Photographer's just been told to my left to get behind the white line. Oops. Here we go. I've got no idea about the names of the horses, folks, and probably in all honesty will not be able to find out any names of any of these horses. However, and this is what matters, we are in exactly the right spot. Sorry, let me rescind my previous comment. We will be able to ID the horses because I've been told they're Blues and Lifeguard horses. Apologies, guys. I'm speaking before I think. That said, I'm not going to be zooming in and out on the hooves. I'm just going to concentrate on filming and staying hydrated as much as is possible. Can't wait actually for the blue dismount to be done, so I can go into the shady spot. Anyone want to recognise and ID the two blues horses coming in? Actually, if the second trooper into the stables actually was a family member and actually is named Richard, but then why did the guy have that little sort of smirk and smile, lose his composure, and then decide to vanish? I don't know. Okay, so here we've got two Canadian officers greeting their British counterparts. Fantastic thing to see, actually. I believe the British counterpart is a captain. Can't quite see. He looks familiar from Hyde Park. I think he's a captain. If not, then he'll be a lieutenant. Okay, so to the front we go, ladies and gents. Even if I went home now, we captured exclusively one of the most significant moments in the history of horse guards ever. Okay, we're talking 200 plus years of magnificence. I've got to be careful, a lot of school groups this morning. In fact, not just a lot of school groups, a lot of everyone. So here is the first. Bet you weren't expecting this, were you?
Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian Army. Wow.
Let's see now.
On Blues and Royals and Lifeguard horses.
Oh,
They didn't bring their own horses, so they borrowed the HCAV horses. But I think it's no, still no foot guards. I don't think we're going to see them again, which is very sad. But I've got an idea, folks. Is this horse Q10 possibly or Opera? I can't really tell, but the horse is beautiful and is very much looking to me like Q10. The thing is, the horse is right out the box, like 100%. I'm not zoomed in, I'm completely zoomed out. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, I'm completely zoomed out. But magnificent to see this. I mean,
these horses from here.
yes,
All the horses.
all of the horses they're using. But they've basically borrowed HCAV horses.
What is called Canadian?
They're called, what is it again? Lord Strathconnor, this regiment. Lord Strathconnor. They're like a tank regiment, like the Household Cavalry, but it's the last Canadian Army regiment that still has a mounted branch, the very last one. So these are the only army riders in the Canadian Army with a ceremonial mounted branch. Yeah, I mean Canada's a Commonwealth. The chief of their regiment is the King. I seem to remember. Welcome to correct me, folks.
This one is.
Yeah, Blues and Royals. Just speaking to his Canadian colleague, and more importantly, adjusting that plume, which did become a bit of a mess. Surprisingly, actually, it probably happened on the ride down, bumping up and down, because it's certainly. Look at the girls. See the girls. all turned there just staring at him. Oh goodness me. Right, who is going to be the Canadian soldier that makes history by being the first one in his regiment to tell a tourist to get behind the white line, or I don't know, get out of the box? I'm not really sure how a Canadian would say it, but I guess this is the key thing. Very, very shortly we're going to see it. And the thing is, could it have been? Oh, the trooper stole them instead. Brilliant. That's the way it's got to be. The horse isn't quite. Actually, wait, hold on a second. Let's just resolve this. This is the last time we're going to take out the other phone. Because it isn't quite Q10 enough for my liking. Then I take a picture and find out it's Q10. 1 second. It's not Q10. Okay, that's all that matters. I don't care which one it is, but it's not Q10. Again, I'm not going to be pulling out, folks, the other phone today, simply because I've got to... Oh, made a jump on the ride. I need to concentrate on the filming. I mean, it's pretty packed now. And of course, we've got to find a Canadian tourist to ask them, hold on a second, what's going on? The horse's muscles appear to be sort of involuntarily contracting on our left, on the horse's right. Very strange. Wow, what a sight, folks, eh? Let's leave this end for a moment. We'll come back. My oh my darlings, it is a hot one. It is a proper hot one. The other thing that will be important, as I mentioned, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the clock because at the moment it's exactly 15:15. I kind of feel sorry for the soldier that pulled this in because my goodness me, he is full pelt in the exceedingly bright sunshine, and he must be roasting, the poor fellow. Yeah. If I stay here for a couple minutes, we're going to be able to see when the Blues second group leave. That's the key, because shortly after that we'll have the hopeful dismount in the yard, which of course I need to try and cover to make sure we've got the entire ceremonial aspect of this first day covered. Yes, it will be happening again on Monday, but I might not be here on Monday. Hey, been on holiday? I didn't see you for ages. I was, but like, I don't know, when was it? A few days ago. You weren't here on Monday. When you next week? Okay. I mean, to be honest, it's too flipping hot here anyway. I was in Denmark for a week, but I came back last week. Yeah. Did you know about this? Yeah. Yeah, the first time ever this regiment have been here, and this is their first morning in history. Yeah, so it's a big deal. But they're using the HCAV horses. So I'm not sure which, because I haven't looked at the numbers, but this is a Blues or a lifeguard horse. So it could be interesting actually, depending if the horses kick off, because these soldiers haven't ridden these horses before. So we will see. But crazy hot though, no? Or is it just me this morning? Yeah? Damn it.
The weather is nice.
I would happily swap it right now for where I'm standing. This is too much. Like in the yard now, it's 30 degrees already, which is mental, right? So I mean, even though this is their first day, I can see them getting taken off because it will be too hot later. He's sweating already, and I can't say I blame him. The guard. Joe's got a very moist face, as have I. I mean, I'm sweating my flipping whatever's off here. Seeing so many, like so many pro photographers, actually. I think pretty much every single pro photographer in London has arrived. He's here and is enjoying pictures of these thoroughly magnificent soldiers. Great to see the presence of a tash as well. Also seeing official Canadian Army photographer is in the yard now with one of the NCOs. Yeah, great to see a tash, eh? And I'm thinking that may be Tashman, as he's right in front of us, needs to be the picture of the day, folks, if I can get a good shot. Big if. Horse doesn't want to cooperate as usual, folks.
Well, it's done over there. 30.
Soldier looks magnificent. Horse is definitely not willing to look at the camera. He doesn't want to get himself famous and popular today, I think. It's odd actually, because I don't think I've ever, and you know I'm here a lot, ever seen so many people here, amateurs and professionals, taking pictures with proper kit today. There's got to be at least, I don't know, 10, 15 pro photographers. Obviously a lot of Canadian military fan and official, but a lot of the British press photographers that I recognise from various events are also here this morning. And thankfully there was a little teeny weeny bit of a breeze. Can I ask you a question? think I know it's Lord Strathconnor is the name of the regiment. Is this the first time in history that your regiment have ever mounted a King's Lifeguard here in London?
It is actually the second time, sir. We've done that in 2000 for 100th anniversary, and then now we're doing it for 125th anniversary.
Okay. So, is anyone that's here today? Were they here last time?
The son of one that was here last
You're
time.
joking,
is
really?
Here, but yes, so he's the warrant in charge of the troop.
Okay.
So his dad was here the first time in the 2000s.
That's an extraordinary honour, isn't it? To be honest. Just one last quick question, if it's okay. People were curious about this because a lot of people were speculating it would have been the Canadian Mounties, who have been here, I believe, once before.
In 2012.
2012. So I guess that means the 3 times ever that the King's Lifeguard has been mounted by a non-British regiment, each of the 3 times would have been Canadian. Is this
To my knowledge, yes.
extraordinary? Wow. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you.
Good day, sir.
What a gent he was, folks? There we are. I thought it was important to ask, for my sake, and for the purposes of being accurate. Second time in history this regiment have been here. That's funny because when I was doing some Googling last night, I could find no reference to the previous stint of Lord Strathconnor here at Horse Guards. So, I mean, I clearly wasn't looking deeply enough or at the right sources. So the second time, however, and this is key, and I'm only repeating in case the microphone didn't pick it up, the son of one of those previous guards that was here with this regiment the first time is back this second time. How's about that? Gotta love the longevity and continuity of the situation. Lucky you realised in time though. Girl just came out the gate and almost face planted the horse. Sorry, just in time. Oh bless, that would have been, I wouldn't have kept that in anyway. Horsey's not happy. I'm so tempted to bat the phone and look up which horse this is because I've got the hoof number. Anyway, so yeah, a correction. Second time ever this regiment have been here. But, and this is the key thing I think, each of those 3 non-British mounted King's Lifeguards have all been Canadian. Now I kind of wondered to myself if we had perhaps at some point had potentially a Kiwi or an Aussie or another Commonwealth mounted guard, but it would appear not. So a big deal for you Canadians, eh? In fact, the only other nationality, only other nation that have mounted a King's Lifeguard in the almost 300 odd year history of the King's Lifeguard here at Horse Guards. Incredible. Massive thanks to the gent for giving me the info and the heads up. Incredible. I'm kind of glad now I told everybody else it was the first time. And it's actually the second time. I'll be honest though folks, they did keep this well under wraps. Even though I had an inkling, because I've been told to expect something, I was still surprised.
Surprisingly, no one going in the box.
To be honest, I think there are 2 reasons. First of all, you know when they pull the horse right out, it kind of looks more serious, and the horse looks bigger when it's in the box. Plus, he looks pretty serious, doesn't he, this guard, to be honest. Yeah, let's see. I was just told something interesting. Talking to one of the officers here, he said this is actually the second time ever this regiment have been here. But that
The last time they came 10 years ago,
I think he said back in 2000 and I can't remember what he said, 2010, 11 something, I'll check later. But the son of one of the guards that was here last time is back this time. But I don't know which one it is, but yeah. So one of these guys, their dad was actually on the horse the last time they were here. That's crazy, you know? A wonderful thing.
That guy looks more funny and friendly.
I think he's struggling a little bit with the heat. He's really, I didn't want to film that in too much because he's actually stripping. Because he's in the proper sunshine, isn't he? That him.
He's trying to be friendly with everyone.
It won't last. When the Chinese group turn up at about 12 o'clock. Oh goodness. Oh, actually, wait. Friend just said they're here now. A few of them I have just turned up. Actually, it's not the usual group, but there are some here. I might need sort of a bit of a 5-minute break. I will try to shoot 2 parts today. Yeah, here's the first of the Chinese group. I really, honestly, today pray they're not going to make a mistake and get themselves in trouble. Could be a relative. It's funny, earlier on there were some kids. When I was in the yard, there were some kids that were kind of like laughing and making jokes with the guard at that end. When I said to him, like, oh, you shouldn't be like joking and stuff, he said, oh, but it's a family member. His name is Richard. But I'm not sure if it's real or not.
How long they are 28?
No,
28.
I seem to remember, we can check on the Canadian Army website, I think 11th to the 21st, I think. I seem to remember it's...
I had the information last 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, let's have a look. I could have sworn it was until the 21st. I'll head into the yard in just a moment, guys. 21st. 11th to the 21st. So we've got 10 days. Right, folks, time to head into the yard to try and capture this dismount. Let's do this now quickly before we get told we're not allowed in the yard for the dismount. Okay, so I've just had to kind of squeeze myself under. Ah, I've been told to go to the front. Apparently it's an official media position, go to the front. A bit weird, but... I think, folks, actually, I've got a better idea. If that spot is closed, we'll go over to this side instead. You see that over there, then? I wonder if they would have said the same to you. Apparently that's official media position, and no one's allowed into the corner. I mean, fair is fair. I think this is why I was getting a lot of dirty looks when I was first there this morning. Yeah. Too hot though, for this, isn't it? Did you think about bringing a hat? You don't have one. I'm just trying to think, folks. Actually, no, I'm not even going to risk trying to go onto the other corner either, because I think they're going to be super fussy. I mean, fair's fair. I mean, official media is official media, but I have actually now found myself, luckily, a shady spot. Yes. I mean, one has to try with these things. Let's be frank, folks. If we don't try, we're not going to get, are we? It's as simple as that. So any moment, we will get to see them all coming through the tunnel. Actually, I'm noticing the official media, even though they're in the shady corner, are also applying suntan lotions on. It's that hot. I thought the official media would have known better than to place their cameras facing without good natural light to the side. But there we are. Okay, Colin's made his way in. Just waiting for everybody to flood past here because there are a massive number of people here today. And then hopefully, once they've finished flooding past into the tunnel, I'll take a step forward. And that way we won't get a bunch of other random heads of I don't know who coming in. Okay, so here they come into the yard. Just hoping that somebody's not going to stand in front of the camera. Here we go. Cleanly and clearly. 1, 2. It doesn't look like they're going to dismount. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, and no dismount. Now, is that because they were told not to dismount? Because they don't dismount because of the... I'm not sure whether they're lances. I don't know what to call the lances, pikes, staffs. Not sure. Genuinely wondering why they didn't dismount. Could be that. Could be the fact that this particular regiment never do dismount. Could be the fact they forgot to dismount. We will never know. So I'm not going to speculate. Point is, no dismount. So, it's actually lucky we were not over on that corner after all. So we've got a bigwig from the household cavalry here. Yeah, very big wig, in fact, from the household cavalry here. Lots of them. Canadian Army. No, Canadian Army, not police. First time, yeah, Canadian Army. Right, folks, let's get ourselves to the front. That was actually quite funny getting told off by by the media person. But anyway, you know what? It is what it is. We still got what we wanted, and that's that. There was at least one person in the corner that was definitely not official media. I recognised them, so I think they just wanted to keep the goodies for themselves, which is understandable. I mean, this is a rare moment. Anyway, let's get ourselves into our usual spot. Ideally, as close as possible to the front before a million crazy people arrive. Here we are. Got it. Had to be a Chinese tourist, didn't it? The first one ever getting told to get out of the box. What a surprise that was. Okay, we've got a good spot here. I'm going to stand right next to the bollard, which means we might not capture everything in the frame because the horse is so far forward, but we will capture this massive Chinese group, and let's hope they don't muck it up and upset the Canadians. Love the ma'am as well. Ma'am. I mean, oi peasant would be better, but ma'am is respectful, I guess. Now, you can see there's a flipping load of people here. I guess they're going to be careful for the moment, simply because somebody just got told off. But we might well have captured the first ever get out of the box. Ma'am. Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely chocky McWalk here, folks. I honestly don't even know where to point the camera at this moment. They're all flooding in front of it, around it, next to it, behind it. I wonder actually if any family members at all also decided to make the trip to London to see their loved ones here performing this great honour in the boxes. Bear in mind their commander-in-chief, or head of the regiment, sorry, rather, commanding officer is indeed our king, Charles III. Okay, family shot on that side. I definitely want to make sure that this video doesn't go over time this morning, for obvious reasons. And because we're going to at least start, if not necessarily finish, completely that is, a part 2, my dears. Interesting enough, that massive Chinese group that were sort of assembled all buggered off. Yep, all gone. It's actually so funny though, getting told off for standing where everyone else is standing. Had to happen eventually, guys, didn't it? Actually, touching the water bottle, which of course is the main item that's in the sun, and I could fry an egg on it. See, actually, I hope the camera's picking up from this guy's extremely moist head. Just how much everyone's struggling here today, guys, with the high temperatures. And that's not an exaggeration, trust me. Oh, the girl's probably wondering what on earth. Everybody's super interested. Look at them all coming out. Oh, what is going on here? Now, the reason, or primary reason, there'll be a second part is obviously it will be extremely nice. One, not to have a blondie right in front of the camera, but two, to see which 2 cards come out to relieve the 2 that are already here. Plus, and this is kind of, I think, fairly important, we should, in theory, be able to capture the first dismount in the yard. Unless, of course, the official media are still there, and I'm told to get lost. Group vanished fast now. There were like about 50 of them. They just vanished.
There is just one here.
I thought that was good.
I can't say. That was not that crazy. The crazy will come.
The crazy is usually the 12 noon one or the 1 o'clock one.
I'm just looking for water session. I want me to bring in half an hour.
I mean, they're going to have to water them surely. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they get taken off. I mean, it's already 30 plus in the yard. Oh. Don't touch the horse, please step outside the box. Or, short version, read the sign. Oh, my friend just pointed to the sign. Okay, so we captured 2 historic first. Touching, being told to move, a penny dropping with these girls that, hey, there is a sign, and it expressly tells you not to do what you just did. Or to not do what you just did, yeah. I am keeping a little bit of an eye at the other end. So far we definitely chose the right end. The other soldier is having massive issues with the brightness of the sun. So he's fully exposed and he's having to squint. In other words, I think he's trying his hardest not to and end up getting overexposed to the heat. Gent at this end, as far as I can see, at least visually, isn't even perspiring. In other words, we've got a proper super hyper fit Iceman in this box. And I will briefly, after part 1, when I'm letting the kit cool down, pull up the name of the horse we're looking at here. I've got a couple of ideas, but I don't want to speculate. The other thing, problem is going to be that we're not going to know. Actually, wait. Oh, it's a live bond. So I've just looked at the hoof. Okay, that's good. I checked. Otherwise, I would have been a little bit like, which regiment is it? Nice little nod of respect by Echo Lake State Park. I'm guessing that's in the US or is it in Canada? Echo Lake. And some of the tourists are managing to stay very cool, but others have got extremely distressed and sweaty faces, just like me. Part 2 will almost certainly resume with that dismount in the yard. It's not happening for a while, but that gives you a bit of time to cool down and let the kit cool down after this part 1. We've still got about 5 minutes anyway, give or take. I thought she was going to march, this Thai girl. I was certain she was going to march straight into the box. Look at this guy. Oh, bro. It had to be a Chinese guy again, didn't it? Like, what on earth? How do they not understand? I didn't even realise when he was walking out, I was busy looking at the Thai girl, who I thought was going to be the one getting in trouble.
You really stumbled.
We captured all of the historic firsts this morning, didn't we, at this end, to be honest? Wait, but hold on. 3 times it's told them to get out of the box. 1 person touched the horse. And obviously both the people getting told to shift pronto were Chinese. What a surprise. Oh, he's back. This time he's tiptoeing back, everybody. He's like, I really do not want to create a diplomatic situation between the Chinese and Canadian governments. After all, the Chinese do need Canadian natural resources, guys, am I right or not? Apparently this Los Latonas horse are based out of Edmonton. That's where their HQ is. I am flipping melting here right now. This is hard. No, today. You're struggling as well a little bit. Yeah, I mean you had the trip down, didn't you? Plus, I guess working yesterday. Oops.
No, I had a day off yesterday.
I like the fact that he's smiling. Notice this. He's giving them like a little bit of a friendly smile. Sorry, what were you going to say? Had the day off yesterday.
I had a day off yesterday, yeah.
Smartest move ever, no? Having found out about this last night.
I'm on shift tomorrow. I was just saying that to someone else earlier on. That as much as I like HCAV, I really like these uniforms.
The myrtle green saddle blanket is amazing, though, to be
Yeah.
quite honest.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's just like a green collar and epaulets.
Yeah, it
Just
really
seems to make
stands
it-
out, doesn't it?
yeah.
It's almost like they're a bit of a combination of both of the Blues and Royals and the Lifeguards,
Yeah.
especially with the red
Because
tunic,
they've got. Oh yeah, because they've got a
mixed plume.
mixed plume, haven't they? Yeah.
So I mean, they are a bit of both, aren't they? And I'd wager, I didn't look into it enough, but I wager there is some sort of historical link, because it can't be a coincidence that the colours are, well, I mean, extremely close to those of HCAV. The only difference really being that myrtle green.
Isn't the armoured side what these guys do, isn't it?
Yeah, they're a tank regiment.
Is it the Royal Canadians?
That's
I read up
a good
somewhere
question.
about the Royal Canadians or something.
I think it is actually. Wait, let's have a look. They're the only tank regiment in the Canadian Army, I do know that. And this is the only mounted cavalry branch in the... Sorry, chap. Sorry. Okay, thank you. And they're the only mounted cavalry branch within the regiment. Wait, where is it? Reception here is terrible. Yeah, Royal Canadians. Regular armoured regiment of the Canadian Army, and is Canada's only tank regiment, currently based in Edmonton, Alberta, part of the 3rd Canadians Division 1 Canadian Mechanised Brigade Group. Good luck memorising that. Wow. Anyway, folks, that is the end of part 1. Ladies and gents, we're going to let the kit cool down, and I'll be back in the yard for the dismount, and then as much as I can fit in of a part 2. So, bye for now. I bet the second I turn the flipping camera off, somebody's going to get massively shouted at for getting in the box. So let's give it another 30 seconds. Oopsie. Second she moves, I move to finish part 1. Bet she stands there for 10 minutes now. Oh, welcome back from Norfolk. Interesting. Anyway, it's now getting crazy. Back soon, people. Bye for now.
Oh, he thinks that the